Peter after losing everything. Luke 5:1-11. The story of Peter in Luke 5:1-11 is a powerful lesson about faith, surrender, and the restoration that comes from trusting Jesus. Peter, a skilled fisherman, had spent the entire night working hard, casting his nets into the sea, but caught nothing. For a man whose livelihood depended on fishing, this was more than a disappointing night. It was a moment of deep loss. He was exhausted, discouraged, and likely questioning his purpose. In that moment of emptiness, when Peter felt like he had lost everything, Jesus stepped into his boat. Jesus asked Peter to push out into the deep waters and cast his nets again. At first, Peter hesitated, saying, "Master, we have toiled all night and caught nothing." Yet, in faith, he added, "But because you say so, I will let down the nets." That small act of obedience brought about a miracle. The nets were suddenly filled with so many fish that they began to break. Overwhelmed by the blessing, Peter fell to his knees and said, "Go away from me, Lord. I am a sinful man." He realized that Jesus was not just a teacher, but the Lord of creation. In that moment, Peter experienced both humility and hope. He saw that his efforts without Jesus amounted to nothing, but with Jesus, everything changed. Instead of condemning Peter, Jesus lifted him up and gave him a new calling. Do not be afraid. From now on you will fish for people. Peter, who thought his life was defined by his failure, discovered a new purpose, to follow Christ and lead others to him. This story reveals a deep spiritual truth. Sometimes God allows us to fail in our own strength so that we can learn to depend fully on him. Peter's empty nets represented the end of human effort, while the overflowing catch symbolized the abundance that comes through faith and obedience. When we lose everything, it may be God's way of making room for something greater. Like Peter, we are called to let Jesus into our boats, to trust his word even when logic fails, and to follow him wherever he leads. Because in Christ, loss becomes gain, weakness becomes strength, and failure becomes the foundation for a greater purpose.